Alright, welcome back to the SketchUp Web Basics. Now remember, I am a pro user and I wrote tutorials for students at a university for a class, and I'm really good at using SketchUp Pro, and this is the first time I've ever used SketchUp Web. So there's a lot of similar things, but a lot of things are kind of out of place as well, so I'm still learning with you guys. But today I wanted to talk about the scale tool and the push-pull tool, and maybe some like what can you use SketchUp Web for. Now I use Pro for a lot of things. I use it for engineering parts, for aerospace and medical, and I've also used it for concept art for gaming. And you can use the SketchUp Web version for concept art as well. Now it's going to be a little bit slower than the Pro version, because in the Pro version I have my solid tools, and in the Web version that's free you don't. You have to use intersect faces. Now the beauty of using concept art or making concept art is you don't need a lot of plugins. Actually, I don't use any plugins at all for concept art, but when it comes to engineering applications I do need certain plugins, and that's when I have to use the Pro version. Such as copy along a path. For example, if I have a weird, crazy, wavy shape, I can put holes down the center of that. I need a special plugin tool. It's kind of hard to do it in the Web version, but there's a lot of things that the Web version can do. So let's talk about some more basic tools. Okay, we're going to start off. Remember, left side is all your tools. Now remember, see these there's these little arrows next to them. If you click it, gives you more options, like this one called the Follow Me and the Offset. These tools are awesome tools. Follow Me is used for basic revolutions, and or revolves, and then circles. You've got different shapes underneath here. A rotated rectangle. Sorry. Polygons, 3D text, arcs, fun stuff like that. You've got the freehand. Now the freehand one I use a lot in the concept art. It's actually kind of cool. So start at the origin, just kind of draw, and it creates that face. Now how you know you have a face is when your lines actually intersect. It'll color up like this. So now if I push pull, I got that kind of organic shape. So usually you hit L for line tool. If you hold it, it does nothing, so you have to click the freehand, and then come back like that. So kind of cool, not bad. Now if you come down to here to hidden geometry, you click it, give it a minute, it'll show for example, you have these faces right here. Now the cool part is you hit push pull, you can do that, or you can move let's see, this one's going to be a little bit trickier than I thought. So if I want to move this line, you can see what happens when you try to move along that line. And then so just experiment, see what happens, but let's actually do some work. So R for rectangle tool. I'm going to hit Control so that I want it in the center. So I'm going to do a 50 by 50. Now remember, I'm in meters because I like to model big, and then I'm going to push up 75. Okay, so we have this. Don't mind the noises, it's probably in the other office, So, oh man, they're making some good noise today. Alright, so what can we do with this shape? I'm going to pause for a minute. Okay, I'm back. I think they're done wrestling in there or doing whatever. Okay, so I wanted to show you something cool. if we select this face and hit P for push-pull, notice there's something that says, it should say down there, if you hit Control, it'll be a new selection. So if I hold Control, notice how the plus sign shows up, click it and move up. And that'll, and then I'm going to type in 10. There we go. Sorry, wasn't moving up for some reason. That'll create a whole new face. You can actually see where the face was created right here along this division. So if we turn off hidden geometry, see there is no hidden geometry to show because the face doesn't have any subdivisions in it. So, okay, and the beauty of doing this is sometimes you run into an issue where you can't offset or you can't pull the face past a certain point, so you'll have to hit Control to copy the face there and redo it. Now the problem with that is if you make a group, notice it doesn't say it's solid because we have an internal face. We got to somehow get rid of that internal face. So if you come into here and use your eraser tool and you erase these lines right here, you're getting rid of that internal face. Now we click it, it should say solid. For some reason it doesn't think it's a solid when there's an extra face in there. It doesn't think it's airtight, even though it is, but SketchUp surface modelers freak out about that. Okay, so I'm going to explode this. Let's mess around with the offset tool. So I'm going to hit F and it's going to bring up that little shape. If you click and hold, and I'm going to type in 5. Okay, so now let's see what we can do. I can push pull this surface, that's kind of cool, or I can push pull this surface, or both of them, kind of cool. Or what I really like to do is I'll click this surface, double click it to select the bounding edge as well, and I'll hit M for move. Now notice this one doesn't have it, but hopefully, let's give it a shot. In the Pro version, if you hold Alt and you move, oh, it does. Okay, let go of Alt. Now hit the up arrow. Okay. This is called the auto fold option. And I'm going to type in 5. Okay. What that just did was create a 45-degree chamfer along this edge with the auto fold tool underneath the move, and that was using Alt. So now we got this 45, and how you know it's 45 is because our offset was 5 millimeters in and we went up 5 millimeters, so that means 5 and 5. So that's when it comes to triangles and math. If you have two equal sides, it's a 45-degree triangle. So kind of nifty, but let's go ahead and back the offset off. Now let's kind of have some fun with the scale tool a little bit. So I'm going to click that line, hit M, move it along the green axis right about here. I might do the same thing with this one. You know, kind of cool like that. Let's do this one. Same direction. Okay. So now we have this kind of shape. So triple click it, hit S. Now it brings up all these handles. So if you just, and these are all percentages, so watch the bottom right hand corner. If I move it up, I just scaled it in the up direction by 133%. So if I type in 2, that's 200%. So, okay. So if you hold Control, that'll do a uniform. So let's do this. Let's go along this edge uniform, and I'm going to type in 10. So I just Control-Shift-E. Now this thing is huge. It's 10 times bigger than what it was. But how do we get it back down to its original size? Well, let's do Control-Z real quick. Control-Shift-E. Spacebar, I want to do one thing. T for tape measure. Let's just get this measurement by default. That measurement is 50 millimeters. 50 meters. Let's remember that. Okay, so let's hit S. Let's do Control along here, times it by Let's even do 100. Control Shift E. Okay. Tab, that should be 50 times 100, so what is that, 5,000 meters? Yep. Okay, so how do we get it back down to where we were? Well, remember those are percentages, so we timesed by 100, now we have to divide by 100. But, so you triple click, hit scale for, S for scale, control right in here, and notice it's decimals now, so hundreds is 0. Oh man, what is it? Tens and then hundreds. Okay. Hit enter. Control Shift E. And we should be back to 50 meters right here. We are. Okay, but let's say we don't want to do the math. What is another way of doing this? Well, if you hit the tape measure tool, you click here, hold control, click right here, and then type in 50 and then M and enter. It's going to ask, do you want to resize the entire model? You hit yes, and no matter what is on there, you can have multiple objects, it's going to scale everything down to the same. Okay, Control Shift E and watch. And we've got 50 meters back. So that is why I like to scale large, and it's so easy to scale back down. If that needed to be 50 millimeters, okay, measure, Control T, hit T, hold Control when you click the last data point, type in 50 and then mm. Resize the whole model. Control Shift E. Okay, now it should say 0.05 meters. That is correct. Now if you want that in millimeters, remember, go to your display and, which one was it? Model info, and rechange it to millimeters right here, and everything will be accurate. But I'm going to keep mine in meters because I like it that way. So escape, Control Z, Control Shift E. We're back to this. Alright, now let's have some fun with this. So we know how the scale tool works a little bit. Let's take L for line, and we're going to make a line from here to there. Okay, magenta means you are perpendicular to that surface. Yeah, you're parallel to that edge. See how it's magenta? It means you're parallel to this edge. So if you want that, you hold Shift and it will keep it locked. But I don't want that. I'm going to click there, and then I'm going to make a line here. Okay. Now the eraser tool, but let's go to our styles. Let's see what we just did. Default, click on this one called X-ray. Give it a minute to load. There we go. So now you can kind of see through things, but you look through it and you can see all of a sudden there's this internal face right here. So by connecting these three lines, we created another face. So let's go ahead and delete those three lines. Let's go back to the woodworking style, and you'll see what we've created. We've created kind of this cut, this chip right here. So let's do it again. Whoops, make sure you're attached to something. Let's go like this. Let's get rid of these three. Okay, cool. Alright. Ooh, I don't like this, how it's flat here. Let's grab this line. Hit M for move. Let's move it right out here. Okay, then what we're going to do, L for line tool. And we're going to make, and notice how it says on face. That's very important. If you hit the up arrow, we're not on the face. We want to be on the face. So make sure, so hit escape. Be on the face. On the edge there. Make sure you're on. Rotate if you have to. Be on the face. There we go. Perpendicular to edge just meant it was 90 degrees to that top edge. You're still on the face. Okay, now click it. Now hit E. Click that. And now we have this hole. Oh crap, what do we do? What do we do? Alright, all we have to do is close it. But if we close from here to here, it just leaves us where we were. We don't want that. If you close from here to here, oh look at that. Now it looks like there's a chip. Okay, kind of cool. So let's chip off a piece of this old block right here. Okay, look at that. Now we've kind of got this rock shape going on. It's like a boulder, you know, and you can add some more cuts here. You can triple click, hit scale, and now you can start scaling it this way, or you could even scale it that way or this way. Let's do this way. That looks kind of cool. Okay, now what we're going to do is triple click it. We're going to make a group. Then we're going to hit the M tool for move, hold control, and we're just going to move along the red axis, and we're going to put the rock right here. Now notice on the blue you can see these little plus signs. That's for rotation. So how about we let's rotate a bit. I don't know, like that. Okay, and then the move tool again, and let's just kind of move it on the inside, and then let's double click it inside this one, hit the push pull tool. We could lift up a little bit like that. That makes it look ugly. It's not what we want. But let's hit the scale tool. Wow, come on. Hit the up arrow to tell it to move up if you're having issues. And we're going to scale it just like that. Now, we've got this kind of organic boulder shape. Let's move this one like that. So you can't really see anything. Okay, let's try something fun. Let's try to intersect these and make them one single group. So, I'm going to take this one, go inside, triple click it. I'm going to hit Control X. Now this is pure experiment. Okay, right click, paste in place. Okay, now select and intersect faces with context. Okay, so now you see our bounding, how everything's been unioned, but we got to go to the inside and see what's left over, because I'm willing to bet it's put those lines down there. Oh yeah, see, now we've got to get rid of, whoops, be sure to be in edit mode, and you start getting rid of this internal stuff. I cannot tell if that's in or out, but we'll find out. So let's just keep going. Okay, so far I think we're good. I'm going to go back to our woodworking style. Now, if everything's correct, it should say it's a solid. It is not a solid. Okay, that means we missed something somewhere. There's an open face. Now, the beauty of the Pro version, or even the upgraded version of this, is see this right here. It says Solid Inspector. It'll go through and tell you what's wrong, and we'll try to fix it, but you have to upgrade. So you're kind of at the mercy right now of SketchUp, the free version. Let's just try one thing. Let's explode it, and let's remake the group, and let's see if that makes it. No, it's still not a solid. Okay, so that is the one downfall with this. I don't know if it's because I left a stray line in there somewhere and it doesn't like it. I mean, or an extra face. It's very hard to tell. But Solid Inspector would tell you, hey, you have an extra face in there. What happens if I hit delete? Oh, yeah, let's not do that. Okay, you know, trying to, you do want, is if you can, try to make things solid for 3D printing, but in this case I don't think this one's going to be an issue because I can't really see what the problem is. I can see that line. That's one that we need. These are all our bounding lines. There might be an internal face somewhere that I just can't see. So, anyway, but for the most part, you should be able to still export this object, put it in a slicer, and auto repair it if it's not manifold, but it's looking pretty manifold. It could be this line right here. I wonder if it was that line. Yeah, it was that line. See what I'm saying? So now it's a solid. So now you have this cool rock that you could print out for if you're into gaming, tabletop gaming. You've got a cool rock. You can scale it. Now you can make copies of this, scale them down and make little ones around it and do whatever you want. Heck, you can even use the freehand tool or even the line tool to make some kind of... Are we on the... I don't know. I don't know if we're in the air or not. You know, that kind of shape. Pull it up and then offset it by 5, and then, you know, double click M, auto fold, hit up, you know, kind of make stepping stones. I mean, you can do a lot. I mean, I've just shown you. I mean, all we've used is scale and move and the line tool, and we've done a lot. So you can make stepping stones and everything else. So my goal is to show you actually how to make a cool concept art in SketchUp Web. I think that would be amazing. But so far now you have these boulders. I've shown you how to intersect faces, make a union, that's called union, with solid tools. But solid tools does it like almost instantly. Where is it? Right? No. Union. It's basically what we did with this. We union two solids together. It'll do it instantly. Now, if you do upgrade, remember, model big, because if you use it in millimeters, you're going to get holes in your mesh, and Solid Inspector's going to freak out. So scale big, and then scale down at the end, and then export. So, okay, that's today's lesson. Thank you for watching, and let's start creating some more complicated stuff.